Hey everyone, John Michael here, as always, and today we have a very exciting and special episode of H2OMG. I know I say that about every episode, but this time, I mean it. I'm just kidding, they're all special, but this one is special in a different way because it kicks off our mini-series, The Quest for the Lake Worth Monster. In this episode, I take a trip out to the beautiful Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge to talk with Michelle Villafranca, a natural resource specialist. I recorded this pretty early in the year, and this is where my quest for the Lake Worth Monster truly began. Michelle has a wealth of knowledge about everything at the Nature Center, including the monster, so this was a perfect place to start my journey. Careful and longtime listeners will also note that this was recorded during a time when I had laryngitis, so my voice sounds a little bit strained.
All right, my name is Michelle Villafranca. I'm a natural resource specialist here at the Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge. And what that title means is I basically deal with everything that's on the land management side of the park. So like trails, bison, prescribed burn, volunteer groups, a native plant greenhouse, just anything that you would do if you were running a state park or a ranch or something. The Nature Center is 3,621 acres.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's one of the largest municipally owned nature centers, if not the largest in the nation.
Oh, cool.
So we all, have our hands full with managing it for wildlife and for people.
Yeah, when I was checking in at the gatehouse, I saw a sign that said the bison were off display for the winter. Mm-hmm. Where do they go?
So they go into a pasture that isn't viewable by the public. And then we rotate them around through 5 different pastures depending on the time of year. So the one that they're in right now, we call it their winter pasture. And they're just... a
little vacation.
Yeah, it's their vacation away from humans and to make sure that they're kind of retaining their wild behavior.
Yeah.
So we have a natural resource manager who is Daniel Price. He's my boss, so he's like over all the land management at the park, and he's our bison wrangler.
Oh, okay.
So we'll probably move them. We're gonna open up some gates this weekend to let them come and to be more visible for spring break, and then we'll put them back in that west pasture.
How many are there?
Let's see, we have 13 right
13?
now.
Oh, okay.
So we have, make sure I have this right, 9 cows, 1 bull, and then 3 yearlings.
Oh, okay.
Which are like teenagers.
Do they have names?
No.
Okay.
Officially, they do not have names.
Okay.
However, we do kind of give them names.
Sure.
Just so that amongst staff, we know who we're talking about. Like if you think one of the bison is not healthy, or there's a problem with bison, or a cow is pregnant, then you might say what we call it. But to the public, definitely not, because you don't want people to think of them as pets.
Sure.
They are wild animals.
Yeah.
They're just in more of a controlled setting right now.
Yeah.
Just because we're only 3,600 acres, so we're not like Yellowstone where they're completely wild and hardly ever have any actual handling by humans.
So the Lake Worth Monster is called the Lake Worth Monster and Goat Man. Which name do you prefer, or are there other names?
I think locally those are the 2 names.
Yeah.
They actually are derived from, I guess, a couple of different things. So the Lake Worth Monster is, he roamed or roams the entire lake. I don't know of any sightings anytime recently. The kind of flurry of activity was in the late 60s. But you have a map right here, and that shows basically it's the West Fork of the Trinity River that feeds into Lake Worth, and the monster was seen all along the West Fork of the Trinity River within our boundaries, down into Lake Worth, and into Lake Worth proper. So let's see, I have a map here, which is essentially the same map, but from 1969, where Sallie Ann Clarke, who's one of the basically the person that documented the Lake Worth monster put it in writing.
Oh, cool.
She went around and interviewed people, and these are all the sightings.
Oh, wow. There's a
where
bunch.
they saw the monster.
And did all the sightings take place in 1969, or was it?
Yeah, pretty much 1969, the summer of '69, and I think it kind of died out by '70.
Oh, okay.
Now there were probably more sightings, but this is where the lore originated.
Can I take a picture?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, Goatman. The name Goatman came more from, there was a rehab farm here, like you're in the rehab building.
Yeah.
This whole compound where my office is used to be an alcohol rehabilitation facility.
Oh, I thought you meant like goat rehab at first. Okay,
well,
human
they did goat
rehab.
yoga, and they did. No, it was like for humans, but they had goats. Nowadays, you might have like a rehab for goats.
Yeah. Okay, that's very progressive.
Yeah, but
That's
back
fun.
then they were less progressive.
Yeah.
No, it was it was for humans.
Okay.
And so it was like a farm.
Okay.
And I guess that was to keep people busy doing things besides drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
And so they had goats. And so I think that's where Goatman came from.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of not as clear on the background of this, but if anyone hears this podcast that knows, you know, they could probably correct me. But one of the stories I've heard is that a person who was here at the facility at that time was the Goatman, and he, I don't know, maybe dressed up in like some kind of a Yeti type suit.
Yeah, I've seen the one picture.
Mm-hmm.
Or there might be more, but the most famous picture.
Yeah, it's probably out of this book, I'm guessing. And
That's on the Wikipedia page too.
Oh, okay. It's out there.
Yeah.
So this person, and I don't know his name, is said to have gone out, you know, from here you could hike back through the woods and to the ridge where the monster was said to have thrown the tire. Now, I don't think any human would have been able to throw a tire 500 feet to people down below, even with the momentum of gravity and all of that.
Yeah.
But that's one story. And then another story is it was, you know, high school kids from, I think, Brewer High School, I think. So over the years, people have contacted me, you know, because we had Monster Bash, and they said, oh, I did something, or I know someone who did, and, like, I should have just been better about documenting it. Like, I totally don't have their contact. But what I'm hoping for Lake Worth Monster Bash this year is to set up a booth and do it like StoryCorps and PR.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I've talked to a couple of documentary filmmakers. I don't know who's going to do it yet, but we'll let them duke it out and see who runs it, or we'll parse it out, you know.
Well, that's what I hope to do at my booth, too. I was going to bring all this recording stuff anyway, so if that's okay.
Yeah, you totally should. Okay. Because I think what we'll do, you know, from advertising this, it'll bring in those people who have that knowledge, who were around back then, who might have come out here.
Sure.
And they're going to have their own stories. So I would love to just do like StoryCorps and have their, you know, and like archive it and have it all in one place.
Yeah.
So, so that being said, someone can correct me on that story. So,
you know, without going into too much detail, the stories that you're telling sound a lot like some stuff I might have done during high school. Oh. So, you know, I think that's that could be a possibility.
Yeah. It could be. Oh my gosh. Anyone, you know, anyone.
Yeah. Let's see. So when in the questions that I keep
you can move all my knickknacks.
I think that's the one I keep hitting.
Knickknacks.
So I keep calling the monster a him, and you know he's called Goat Man.
Right.
Do you think of him as a him?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Never heard him described as a her.
Yeah.
So that's why. But I don't think anyone's ever been able to check the anatomy because no
Sure.
one's ever like captured
Yeah.
the monster.
Yeah.
But if you go Lake Worth Monster, then it could be either,
That's true.
And I think that's probably a better name because we don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So science has not captured and analyzed the monster yet. So
I just didn't want to misgender the Lake Worth monster.
yeah.
Let's see. So we keep.
This is serious stuff.
No, I'm being very serious.
Yeah.
We keep calling this creature a monster, which implies that it harbors some kind of ill intent.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe the monster is dangerous, or do you think he's misunderstood?
I believe misunderstood. So, okay, if you read the book,
Yeah,
The Lake Worth Monster of Greer Island.
I love that cover.
Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah,
that's an eyewitness account.
Oh, really? That's
very masculine features.
That's true.
know?
Yeah, he's got a beard.
Yeah.
Some prominent unibrow.
Yeah.
A sort of a Johnny Cash hairstyle.
Yeah, for sure. Like he probably slicked it back in the day.
Yeah.
But he was supposed to have been, or the eyewitness accounts are that he was 7 foot tall.
Oh, okay.
And had really big feet, like 17-inch long feet by about 8 inches wide. The accounts are that he was smelly. Like,
Sure.
I don't know what that means. Like, because he probably is down in the swampy areas, and he never takes. I mean, he's not using soap.
Yeah.
Right? He wasn't using soap to
Yeah.
bathe. So the accounts were that he was smelly and that he was like half goat, half man, part fish, scale. Like they're all different descriptions. So to me, that's just not very feminine. So
Sure.
I still go with that as he. But you never know. I mean, maybe that species or genus. I don't know.
Yeah.
Science probably hasn't given a Latin name.
Yeah.
So you don't know, like male or female or both. But anyways, in this picture he even has like horns.
Oh, I didn't see the horns.
So,
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And very human-like eyes.
Yes,
I'll get
for
a
sure.
picture
So
of
that
that
would
too.
be, from one eyewitness account to someone who was able to draw.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think I have his name. His name is in this book somewhere.
Oh, the artist's name?
Yeah. I think it's Bobby. But we'll look in there in a little bit.
Can you still find this book
Well,
places?
That's a good question. So,
Can I see?
way back whenever I got involved in this, there's a guy named Craig Woolleader, and he started the Texas Bigfoot Research Conservancy, and that was like for scientific research or just taking the sightings seriously and investigating them with more of a science angle than just completely supernatural.
Yeah.
So he and I went to Sallie Ann Clarke's house. And Sallie Ann, like I said, is the person that she was an aspiring journalist and an author. And as soon as all this broke out, I think she probably found out about it from Channel 8. WFAA came out because there was a big hubbub. And so she came out with her tape recorder and her notepad and her camera, and she interviewed as many people as possible, and then she wrote this book.
Oh, cool.
And then she self-published it, and she advertised like in whatever media, like magazines and newspapers across the nation to sell this book. Well, so when Craig Woolleader and I went to her house, she had Alzheimer's and dementia at the time, and this was like 2009 or 10 or somewhere in there. And we were hoping to talk to her and like get the full rundown, but she was not able to really communicate. That was right close before she died. But her husband Richard, he like had been married to her for a long time, and he knows the story. And so we talked to him, but he was like, I got these books up in the attic. Like, you can just have them. And he, like 1,000 books or something.
Oh, wow.
It was like boxes. And so I was like, I don't want you to just give us the books, because before we went there, I looked on the internet on like Amazon, and people were selling, or eBay, they were selling the book for like $300 or some crazy amount. And that was because the supply, like the law of supply and demand, the supply's in our attic. No one knows about it. And so basically what we did is the Friends of the Nature Center fronted money. So we bought the box of books for $5 a book. And then we sold it with their permission at the Nature Center, or off the headquarters, the visitor center, for $10. So the Friends made like a little bit, but they were, so that still, I don't think it brought the price down. And then Craig has some books too. And so I think his organization was selling books. So there should be enough of the books out there, but I think people probably hold them.
Yeah, that's true.
And now we don't have any more books.
Oh, okay.
So maybe the price is again high.
Yeah, skyrocketed.
So I couldn't tell you where to get them. You just probably have to search around, because we don't have any more.
Oh, okay.
And I think by now probably her family, since she's died, if there were any books, like her daughter or someone probably has them, and maybe she sells them.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I didn't want to, like, I know he was donating everything to us, but I'm like, like that was something she was passionate about. Like, you need something for that. Like, I don't want to just take a box of books and have the Nature Center make a profit off of it. But he was definitely more than glad to give us these things, because the Nature Center's that's where the monster sighted. Like, I guess there were a couple of sightings further on in Lake Worth on Goat Island. But most of them are here. Yeah. So
I was going to ask about Goat Island. What is Goat Island? Okay.
I just know it's in Lake Worth. I've never been to it, but I think it's just it's basically an island for wildlife, because I don't think there are any buildings on it. And that, I guess people probably saw, like boaters or fishermen or whatever may have gone out there and spotted him. But most of it's along here. And the reason I would speculate most of the sightings were here, if it's not directly related to the alcohol rehab facility and someone just on foot going there, we had a road. We had this Shoreline Drive, which runs, it was accessible by cars, and people were coming down here drinking or, whatever, altering their state in some cases probably. And that probably helped facilitate seeing a monster in the different descriptions of, nobody saw the same interpretation of the thing. But like that Goat Island, you would have to go out there in a boat, and not everyone would have a boat. So that's why I think that more of the sightings were here instead of somewhere else. Because you could drive there, and you could park there, and you could drink.
I just didn't know if it was called if it had been called Goat Island for like a long time, and if goats, there were a bunch of goats there, and maybe that got mixed up somehow in the I don't know.
I'd actually have to research that, so I have no idea. I actually never thought about that. I mean, maybe it was called Goat Island originally because Goat Man.
Yeah.
Maybe someone saw a goat, someone saw a goat man there, and then they named the island, or it just got that pseudonym. And so the island on that map is Greer Island.
Oh, yeah, right here?
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about I think in the article I read, it mentioned that the second sighting was in front of a few dozen people because there was kind of a fervor around finding him. And so the next day, there were a few more people on Greer Island looking around, and he was spotted in a spot known for dumping trash. And he reportedly threw the tire 500 feet.
Right.
And I was wondering, did he throw the tire because he was angry at people for polluting his lake?
Oh, that's
good.
My I think
interpretation.
That is why.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, I like that.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, he could, he's a creature of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think he probably cares more, and he's a recluse also.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in hiding for. I'm gonna shut that door.
Oh.
He hasn't been sighted for.
Quite a while.
Yeah, he hasn't been sighted for a while, so to me, that tells me he's recluse. But people who are recluse that live out in the wilds, are probably very back to the earth.
Sure.
So I would say a monster could be back to the earth, and he could be very upset about trash, dumps, and also just people coming around like. Being loud, throwing beer cans. I'm assuming they had some drinks and threw some beer cans.
Yeah, this was a different time.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, gosh, I have to go pick that up now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like someone camping outside of your front, on your porch or something, being loud. And then also showing up to your home with guns, like trying to hunt you. Because that happened. You mentioned the fervor. That was, people were showing up with guns and they were hunting the monster.
That is really scary.
He was probably real upset.
Yeah.
I would say.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
So many people on an island, all just itching to shoot this monster.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's scarier than the monster.
For rolling a tire.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like,
and if people are out there saying that he smelled bad, that's another reason he might be angry.
Yeah.
That's my second theory.
Yeah.
For the tire throwing incident.
Oh, yeah. I would agree. It's so insulting.
Yeah. I've spent a lot of time researching this, reading that one Wikipedia article and the other article that I found.
Because, Wikipedia is all about what's true.
Exactly.
And factual.
Yeah, you can trust it because just anybody in the world can write on it. So, it's true.
Maybe the monster.
That's true.
He has a Facebook page, too. So
I didn't know that.
He's not dead. And he doesn't update it too often, but I bet before his party, because he knows about the party. My theory is that actually he has a condo in downtown Fort Worth, so he's just hanging out there, and then occasionally he'll pop out here. And, he'll for sure be somewhere around for a monster bash.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe he's retired.
Yeah,
and he just kind of takes it easy and.
Yeah, everyone has to retire eventually.
What do you think he eats? Do you think he's an omnivore?
I think so.
Okay.
I think he's seasonal. Well, I mean, the eyewitness account.
Oh, sure, the
has
picture
that
there.
He was eating a fish, or that he was carrying around a fish.
Yeah.
And
we don't know if he's harmed that fish or if he plans on eating it. In the picture he's just carrying it around.
Yeah.
So.
And how long was how long was he carrying it around?
Yeah.
If he would just pulled it out to show the people I'm friends with fish, and then put it back in, or was it dead and he was going to eat it? Or, I don't know. But I would say he probably eats fish. He because I'm just gonna say Sasquatch, they're bipedal, right?
Yeah.
Or bipedal. They walk on 2 feet instead of on 4, right? 4 legs. Yeah. That it is descended somehow from primates.
Uh-huh.
So maybe that's that inter-evolutionary stage between primates and humans. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's for a geneticist and evolutionary biologist to decipher.
Yeah.
But that being said, he's probably got a diet similar to what we have because we're omnivores. No one's examined his teeth. So, and I'm sorry, I keep calling him a he. I just feel like he's a he, so it's easier to use that pronoun. Yeah. So, no offense to the ladies.
No, lady monsters.
Yeah.
If any of you are listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is International Women's Day.
Is it?
And I don't know if that counts for lady monsters, but I would assume.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's today.
I'm sure there's a lady monster, or he's probably pining away for a mate and
hasn't
found her yet.
Might just be lonely and
Yeah, and he's just holed up in his condo in downtown Fort Worth, like, I'll never find a woman, a lady monster. But yeah, so having not seen his teeth, we don't know, like, is he straight up carnivore, is he omnivore, or herbivore? You know, that can be determined by teeth.
Yeah. So we don't know yet.
So we don't know for sure, but I'm just going to say he's probably eaten seasonal fruit, you know, grapes and dewberries, and he probably is an expert on fungi, like which ones are safe to eat, or maybe all fungi are safe to eat for the monster.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he can digest all of them.
Yeah.
I forgot that I wrote down a joke about Goat Island, so you don't have to answer this again. But I'm gonna ask the question again with the joke. Okay. And then I'm gonna cut that back in.
Okay.
Now it's gonna sound so funny. What is Goat Island anyway? Is it like Alcatraz but for goats?
Ah, yeah. Well, I think...
That's all. You don't have to answer it again. Thank you.
That's a good one. I really don't know. Like, I don't know if goats have ever been there. I would say if the monster lived there, you know, he was, I think, sighted there, then it's not a very good prison for a goat man or goats, because unlike Alcatraz, you probably could swim from there, or you could easily catch a boat. But, you know, Alcatraz is surrounded by that deep, strong, cold water current coming off of the Pacific. So they say that no one could really swim and escape Alcatraz. I think he could have escaped it. Yeah. And that map with all the sightings, contemporaneous sightings from 1969, show that he was not always on Goat Island.
I had no idea there were this many. I mean, I'm looking at the map and I can see at least 15 sightings. So
yeah, and that's just a moment in time, because, you know, she didn't... I mean, I know she came back out here even up into the 80s and probably beyond, but I don't know if she got any more eyewitness accounts and sightings beyond that, because I think it was kind of like a big fervor, like you said, and then it died down because the police had to get involved.
This came out in 1969.
Yeah, and it was in the summer. It was in July, and then supposedly by the time school was back in session, it died
that's
down.
Very suspicious.
Yeah, it's very suspicious.
Very convenient.
So maybe the kids were, busy learning things.
I'm just glad nobody got shot.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
That nobody was shot.
Well, so concerning all the fervor, we have someone named Dr. Tony Burgess, and he more recently was a professor at TCU teaching biology or environmental biology. And has since retired. But he grew up around here, and part of the land of the nature center was his family's. Like, I guess I don't want to go into how the nature center ended up with it, because I don't know for sure. Probably, you know, it got deeded or they sold some of it to the city. Sure. But anyways, he grew up around here, and he ended up being like a park ranger. I don't know if that's his official title at the time, but because, you know, the nature center just started in 1964 with Greer Island. So Greer Island Nature Center. So between that time, I guess he was hired as a park ranger. And so what he's told me in the past, he helped with organizing the first ever Monster Bash, and he was the eyewitness account. Like, I had him leading hikes. But when he worked here, he was saying that when all of that went down, and people were showing up with guns, that he was having, like, officially in his little uniform, having to be like, no, you can't shoot the monster. Like, you cannot carry your gun, you know. I mean, he wasn't law enforcement, but he was having to deal with people showing up with guns. Sure. And so he you know, he's one person out of probably several that would be eyewitnesses to what happened. Now, he never said that he saw the monster, but he saw the results of people saying they saw the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Monster Bash?
Oh, yes, for sure. Okay, so we held the Monster Bash for 4 years. We had a break. I think 2013 we didn't have it, and then 2014 we had it, and that was the last time. And it drew over 1,000 people here,
wow.
and we had all kinds of things going on. It was pretty much a day-long event. But then when we stopped in 2014, we said, we'll just do it every 5 years. Well, now is the 50-year anniversary of the sighting of the monster this year. And so that we want to have Monster Bash again. So we will do that on, Saturday, October 26th of 2019.
Cool.
And we're still working on the details, but it'll be during the day, so probably 10 to 3 or something like that.
Okay, so when you know for sure, I can go back and I'll put that at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because we'll have flyers and stuff.
Yeah. It'll be
it'll be
on
here.
the
out here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so what we will have, pending solidifying it, would be a festival area. So we would have all kinds of family-oriented activities. We'll have hay rides, canoe rental, probably bison feeding. We'll have some monster experts that are nationally recognized, so they're kind of big names that will be here, and we'll probably have them at the visitor center in the auditorium, and then we'll have timed, at 1 o'clock, this person's presenting.
Yeah.
And we'll have their credentials of, why you should go see them.
Yeah.
And what else will we... Oh, and then I want to do the StoryCorps thing. So I really want to make sure that anyone who has a story, that it gets documented. So we're going to push on that.
Yeah.
What else will we be doing? Well, we had all kinds of fun stuff at the Monster Bash before. We had archery. We had fishing games. It's all nature related activities where they're hands-on and people, and especially kids, will learn. And the monster may show up. Now, whether you believe that that's actually the monster is up to the visitors.
Yeah, it's up to interpretation.
Yeah, it's up to interpretation.
Sure.
But I'm pretty sure he'll be...
Okay. Oh, great.
He'll be there.
He's booked.
Yeah, he's booked. And I'm not... Oh, we're also combining another thing that we do annually in October, which is Trails and Treats. And that's a very young kid-oriented or family-oriented event where they hike, the kids come in costume and they hike a trail, and then they do some little interactive things, and they get some treats.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
So we're just combining those two things into one event. So we'll probably have trick-or-treating, because it'll be what we'll call it trails and treats instead. And so we don't want to make this a scary event.
Sure.
But it is kind of fun that it's right by Halloween.
Yeah.
So in the past we had done it early October because we didn't want to have that association of scary.
Yeah.
But this time we're gonna put it closer to Halloween, and we may even have some hay rides at night. So we'll see. So it would be kind of like a haunted hay ride.
Yeah.
Maybe you would see the monster, but you might see nocturnal creatures that are not the monster.
Yeah.
Maybe we could pick up bat on sonar, or you might see or hear owls, various species of owls.
Yeah.
So you might see deer. So I mean, whether someone sees the monster or not, if we do the nighttime hayride, it would still see something.
Yeah, it depends on the monster's availability, I guess.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, he could be tired. Maybe he does,
It'll be a long day.
Doesn't show up. Yeah. He'll probably be really exhausted.
Yeah.
Because I know at the end of the 4 ones that we did, I was really tired.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've done a lot of events. That was my job with the city of Seabrook, was all the events for the city, and so it's exhausting.
Yes.
And I know what goes into it and how much work
Yeah.
goes into it. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So maybe you can help with input on
Oh yeah, absolutely.
on it. Like if you have any ideas, then
Yeah.
let me
Well,
know.
it sounds like you already had the great idea of recording people's stories and
Our mission is conservation here at the Nature
Sure.
Center. So this festival, even though it's kitschy, like Lake Worth Monster Bash,
be careful, you're gonna make the monster mad again.
I don't want to offend, but but this really isn't offensive to him, I don't think.
No, I don't
Is
think
that this is more about his habitat. It's
Sure.
about him, that draws people in, but it's also about the environs in which he lives. So it's his home.
Yeah.
So we're promoting and trying to instill in people who come and younger generations to conserve his habitat.
Yeah.
So he has somewhere to live.
Yeah.
So, and water is a big part of that.
Yeah.
So I see that totally as, the water department's outreach. That is like watersheds. That's the monster's habitat.
Yeah.
So it totally is in line with y'all's mission.
Okay,
So,
cool.
So yeah. For sure.
We answered my next question about water conservation, so that's good.
Yeah. He
let's
wants
see.
us to conserve water, and the monster, even though I say he might maybe live in a condo, condos don't have lawns, right? And I just know deep in my heart that the monster does not like people just wasting our drinking water
Yeah.
on lawns. So I feel like I can speak for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he would like, I'm pretty sure, for people to landscape with native
Yeah,
plants.
oh, yeah.
Because he lives in that environment.
Yeah.
Like, he's an expert on everything, all native flora and fauna.
Yeah.
So
Maybe we should offer him a job.
I know.
It sounds
we should.
like
he should head up.
he really aligns with our mission already.
Yeah.
Native plants, water conservation. I bet he's into
Yeah.
rain barrels and rain
Oh my
rain
gosh.
harvesting. So yeah.
Yeah, he's totally sustainable.
Yeah.
I mean, if not, how would how would he still be existing?
Yeah.
He's all about sustainability.
Yeah.
So he should be your logo.
Yeah.
and your
Oh, I would
mascot.
love that. Yeah.
This is before we got a hold of books. Someone from the Nature Center photocopied
Oh, neat.
their version of it, so that's why it's like this. But
I was wondering what this was.
if you want, I can lend this one to you.
Yeah.
If you want to take it
Yeah,
and read
that would be
it
great.
every night before bed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, that might help you fill in some of the gaps. Like, it's got, especially for your follow-up, you can go back. But it's got the
Yeah.
pictures, and then
I would love to read it.
if you have time, then we can drive down to the scene of
Oh, I have time if you have time.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can do that and actually get the angle, like the things that are in here.
Yeah. Oh, thank you
So
very
you
much.
can just return that when,
absolutely.
at some point. And then
Very
I'll
cool.
show you real quick these. And maybe this is nothing to show you.
I brought my binoculars.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Now there was one time when I was walking on, excuse me, when I was walking on Greer Island Trail, and I saw at about face level, so 4.5 feet for me, or somewhere thereabouts, there was like all this hair like hanging off of the shrubs, and I'm just gonna say it was probably the monster.
Probably. Yeah. I'm
Yeah, I
gonna say that too.
didn't like DNA test it or anything, but I was like, well, it could have been like someone with long blonde hair who had a neuroses of just like pulling their hair out and hanging it on shrubs at face level. But I would rather believe it was a monster. So
That's a little bit more lighthearted.
yeah, it's lighthearted. It's more relevant.
Yeah.
And you had asked earlier if the monster's dangerous, and I think I diverted from that, and I want to come back to it because I didn't answer your question. But like, I don't really feel like he was dangerous, although in the book it does say that there's one passage in the book that talks about like a family that was out hiking. I think they were hiking on Greer Island, and they had a 5-year-old boy, a son, and the monster swooped out of the tree and grabbed the child, never to be seen again.
Really?
So I don't know. Like, when you read the book, you can let me know if at the end he was found. But I'm like, wow, like, if he was just, like, abducted and, like, wouldn't you pursue that if you were the parents? Like, I'm
going to have to research this.
Yeah, I don't know about that. And then there was another one where the monster swooped out of a tree, and there were people parked in a car, and they were eating, like, a bucket of chicken, like maybe Kentucky Fried Chicken or something. And the monster, like, swooped out, and they were so scared, they, like, gave him, like, as an offering, they gave him, like, their chicken, and the monster took it and fled. So, I mean, the monster probably ate that. So the monster, you know, does eat chicken, fried chicken, probably, preferably Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
There's a plug.
Well, it's all those secret herbs and spices.
Yeah, I do not own stock in the company. And then there's another account that he's, like, scraped, like, his claws or whatever scraped their car.
Oh, yeah, that's in one of the articles I read.
Yeah, so, I mean, you could classify that as dangerous. I would certainly say that if, like, something swooped out of the trees and abducted your child and you never saw the child again, that's pretty violent. And
I think that would be dangerous.
Yeah, that would be dangerous. So, I don't know. Just weigh all of everything and look for the truth and just take what you will from it.
A huge thanks to Michelle Villafranca for having me out to her office at the Nature Center and for introducing me to the world of the Lake Worth monster, and for putting me in contact with all the experts coming up in other episodes of this miniseries. Join me as someone finally, definitively gets to the bottom of this mystery once and for all. Maybe.